Well, hey guys, hi, it is Brent Abel here. Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. How'd that sound? Pretty good? Yeah, okay, sorry. Um, let's try this again. Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Hope you are having a spectacular day so far. Wherever you are, as you drop into this live video at the Web Tennis YouTube channel, or maybe you catch the recorded version of it, whichever one. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with me. And I've got something for you today. I've just got back from Uman, Croatia. Was there for a couple of weeks, played a couple of tennis events there. And, at the end of any tournament I play, I always like to kind of take a day or two and just kind of not really think about that tournament or my, whatever the matches were. And then a couple of days later, really kind of sort of dig back in and really look at, were there any takeaways? Maybe any epiphanies, maybe any aha moments that I can really sort of tangibly, kind of look at and sort of go, you know what, I was pretty good in this area the whole week, but this little thing over here, I really need to spend some time on that and get a little bit better at it. And so I actually, my flight back from Munich to San Francisco a couple of days ago, I had an 11-hour flight, which obviously gave me a lot of time to reflect on what had happened the last 2 weeks in Croatia, where I played a lead-up tournament to the World Cup 70s team event, which, by the way, we got the bronze, which was really good. I mean, we had a shot at the number one seeds, Denmark in the semifinals, and Bob Litwin and I lost both our singles matches in like 2.5 hour, 3 hour, just gruelers. Long three-setters. If we'd won one of those, I think he and I could have had a real chance to win the doubles. And who knows? You never know. But we ended up getting those. We beat the number two seeds in the third or fourth place match. The guys from Switzerland, which was a good win for us. We came in there seeded 6, ended up with the bronze. So I was pleased with that. But on the flight back home, I wrote down 4 takeaways that I'm going to kind of dispense to you guys sort of one at a time over the next few days. And before I get into takeaway number 1, which I know is something that every skill level goes through, whether you're a pure beginner. I mean, I should say it's for competitive players, right? It's for those players who are playing, whether it's even competitive, friendly matches, singles or doubles, or it's league matches, or it could be tournaments. I mean, we all go through this thing from beginners just starting out to play competitive stuff all the way up to, I'm sure Fed does, maybe not as much as we do, but I'm sure from time to time that he does. Before I get into that takeaway, I want to remind you guys of a couple things. Number 1 is down below, there's a link that will take you over to webtennis.com. And the reason I mentioned that to you is if you're struggling at all with your topspin second serve, meaning there's too many double faults, or maybe you're just throwing in just a little, wimpy second serve just so you don't double fault, but it's not really helping you because the player over there, the returner, is really taking advantage of the point, then I want to help you do a couple things. Number 1, I want to help you to obviously eliminate double faults, but number 2, give you a much higher quality spin so that kind of take the mystery away of how do you produce that spin, and how do you get that high bounce out of the service box over there on your second serve, so that at worst, even though they might touch the ball over there, it doesn't really set them up. The way to get that free course, it's only a couple videos, but the way to get it is to go over to webtennis.com and just drop in an email, drop in a first name and email address, click the button, and you'll get access to that course. The other thing that we've got for you, which is really for competitive players as well, is over at goldballhunting.com, the project I've got with my partner Jeff Jacklich over there. As you may know, if you're on that email list over there, we are publishing a daily podcast episode. I think today was number 255 days in a row. And pretty much what we're doing over there, guys, is we are answering your questions. So anytime someone leaves a statement, a question, maybe just some feedback over there at the YouTube channel, we are sort of using that as the topic of the day for our podcast episode. But the other thing that Jeff and I are helping you with eliminating your skill level range. What is skill level range, right? It's that thing where one day you go out there and you play lights out, you play unbelievably great, and you go home and you think you've got the game finally figured out, and then the next day you go out and yesterday was here, and then today you lay an egg down here. The difference between that skill level and this one down here, that's a range, right? That's your skill level range. Well, when you have a big skill level range, you're not confident. There's no way you can be confident, not only when you start a match, but if you get down to an important time in a match, you don't trust yourself because you know there's a chance you can play down here. So we've got a free video for you over at goldballhunting.com, which is going to show you how to bring up the bottom of that skill level range so that you can really build some serious confidence into your tennis. Again, goldballhunting.com. Again, just drop in a first name and email address, and you'll get access to that free private video. So here's the number one takeaway I had from Croatia, and that was when we get down to the end of a set, we get down to the end of a match, and let's say it's 3-all or 4-all, maybe 5-all. What happens is it starts to get tense, it starts to get tight, and we start thinking about the future. We start thinking about how am I gonna get these next two games? Or worst case, if we go in the tiebreaker, how am I going to win the breaker? And now what happens is you're thinking out into the future. You're projecting everything out in the future. And what happens is when you bring it back to the present, you start thinking about, well, how am I going to win this point to be able to get the result that I want in the future? And anytime you start thinking about how am I going to win, how am I going to get the result, that's when you start to play tight. That's when you kind of don't play loose. And you don't really have the swing freedom that you need to have at the end of a set, at the end of a match. So for me, when I'm playing my best and I'm getting through those moments and I'm getting the result I want at the end, but what I'm doing in the present is all I'm thinking about is how do I want to start this point? Not how do I want to end this point? How do I want to start this point? And there's a huge difference, right? So if I'm serving, right, I'm really clear. And there's a couple things here. Pick out my spot right. I've been serving to the tee here. I've been serving to the body. I've been serving out wide, a certain percentage of the time. Here's how the guy's been handling it. How do I want to serve this point, right? It's 4-all. It's first point, let's say. How do I want to serve this first point? And it might be that all I'm thinking about is, well, what's my best serve? What do I feel is my best serve right now that I know I can get a high percentage in as a first serve to start the point, right? Not how I'm going to win the point, but how to start it. And so I got clarity and I got commitment. And the commitment part is sometimes when you got clarity, well, I'm serving to the tee. I'm going to the tee. But then you start your serve, you start your tossing motion, and you can see out of your peripheral, you can see that returner over there started one spot, now it's moved somewhere else. And a lot of players, and I've done this before, their clarity is I'm going tee, oh, he's moving, I'm going out wide. And what happens is you end up missing the serve. Now you're dealing with a second serve. And so even if you see out of your peripheral vision that returner over there moving and shifting, is that you've got to have the commitment to your clarity to be able to stay and do what you want to do. So same thing with the return is that if you've got a ball to if I get a ball to my forehand, here's my intention to start the point. Same thing in the backhand. It's not, well, I'm going to thump one up the line for a winner. You cannot be thinking result. You can't be thinking of how you're going to win something. All you can be doing for this next point is thinking about how you're going to start it. And if you'll do that and trust that if that will help you get the result you want, obviously it's never ever a 100% stone cold lock guarantee, but you do give yourself the best chance to be able to get the result you want at the end of the set or the end of the match. So guys, would love to read your comments or questions. Anything that comes up on this topic from today is just going down there to the comments area. Just type in whatever's on your mind. Would love to read and respond to it. And before we sign off, a couple of reminders. If you want to learn how to reduce your skill level range, right? No one ever talks about this, but it's reality. And the way to do that is with a free video that Jeff and I produced that you can pick up over at goldballhunting.com. And then if you're struggling with that topspin second serve, too many double faults, or it's just sitting up over there, then I want to help you get a higher quality spin so you get a real nice bounce out of the box over there and practically eliminate double faults. If I say totally eliminate double faults, that'd be hypey because that. Anyway, look, guys, so you know what to do next. Go to those two websites, get those two things if you haven't already done so. Leave me a comment or question down below. And then, as always, you need to get out there today and help someone else have a great day. Guys, we will do this again tomorrow.